Alan Reynolds, wearing the red vest, is the younger of the Reynolds boys. He's the 22-year-old from County Sligo, boxes for the St. Joseph's Club. He's been 3 times the Irish champion, and he's up against the teenager from Lithuania, Vitalijus Subakius, who's just 19 years old and is, well, a fair old bit taller than Reynolds, and the Lithuanian camp reckon that this fellow could move up to heavyweight. And, well, I wouldn't think super heavyweight, but certainly he could put on that extra 10 kilos to take himself up to the second heaviest division of all. So this is a very, very big contest for Alan Reynolds, who was a bit disappointed by his performance in April in Liverpool, having beaten the Welshman Michael Allen, stopped him in 3 rounds. He then was comprehensively outboxed 20 points to 4 by England's Courtney Fry in the final. And he's got to be on his mettle here against a very, very tall, athletic-looking teenager from Lithuania in Subakius. Reynolds, like older brother Stephen, coached by Ireland's only female boxing coach, Mercedes Taff. And a couple of attempts to qualify for Sydney last year. Lost to England's David Hay in Germany. And then lost in Venice to the former Italian European champion Jacobi Fragomeni. Reynolds' problem here is to get inside the reach of this very tall youngster from Lithuania. Good solid body shot by Reynolds, and remember, they do count as well. Head and torso the targets. 95% of shots thrown now in amateur boxing. That's a good right hand by Reynolds. That was the best so far. That'll certainly encourage him. That was a slip. 10 seconds to go, and Reynolds has put in a very good end to that round. That was a smashing right hand from the Irishman. Trying to draw down the guard of the taller Lithuanian to get that right hand over. Subakius being very wary, and there's the buzzer to end the round, and it was a very good finish by the Irishman. And there, just stepping into the ring, is Mercedes Taff, who's been coaching the Reynolds brothers for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Good work by Reynolds, shortened the punch very nice. He got caught himself by a very good right hand as Subakius came in. Reynolds keeping the hands up, and he's at least learned from that, and that was a lovely right hand, and there was a wee bit of a wobble by Subakius as the Irishman nailed him nice and cleanly, and that was a slip. Subakius moved well, Reynolds came forward, and his momentum took him to the canvas. Well, he looks nice and unruffled. Vitalijus Subakius in the Lithuanian corner. A little bit of a delay while the corner of the Lithuanian is wiped, or the canvas is wiped, extra moisture on it. Good solid body shot by the right of Reynolds, but he's being out-jabbed, and he can't afford to allow Subakius to get into any kind of a pattern. That was another very good jab by the Lithuanian. Reynolds winced, right hand from Subakius, caught the Irishman. That's better by Reynolds, in with the left and away again. Giving away a lot in terms of height and reach, and he's got to try to overcome that. Boxes for the St. Joseph's Club in Sligo, in the west of Ireland, Reynolds. And picks up a fair bit of work as an artist model. I don't really know this is the time to go into that in any great depth. Good countering by Reynolds, letting his man come to him, but he's got to be very wary, because this fellow, even though he's 19, has got a good punch. Relatively inexperienced. Boxed in the European Juniors just last year, didn't do particularly well. Good solid right hand once again by Reynolds. Midway through this round, Reynolds going for the body. Nice variation. Left hand by Reynolds. Right again to the body. Reynolds is doing nicely. This is better. Good, short, crisp right hand. Better round this, and he's got to keep the defense up, however. Oh, right hand by Subakius wasn't too far away. Reynolds being rather wild. Good refereeing, the official in the middle saying you've got to face your opponent at all times. This has been a much more crisp, organised round by Michael Reynolds, or Alan Reynolds, I should say. And once again, in comes Mercedes Taff. Stay long with the 1-2, she's saying, and finish with the right to the head. Well, there's a fair illustration of the difference in height and reach. And Reynolds has got to overcome that, and he did that quite nice. He got himself caught with the right hand, but put in a good left of his own. And there's that left to the torso again from Sabakias will have counted. And again, Reynolds moving nicely to the body. Trying to overcome that reach. Little feint there, and a lovely left to follow straight into the torso of Alan Reynolds. That was a good scoring shot by the young Lithuanian. Lithuanian seconds a little bit on the slow side to get out of the corner. Not much between these two. Reynolds perhaps has landed with more shots, but Sabakias has been crisper in his work. Good right hand from Reynolds, and covered up well. Flailing lefts and rights from Sabakias, didn't score, I'm quite sure. And still apologies at this stage for the problems with the on-screen scoring system beyond our control. Good right hand once again from Reynolds, and left to follow by the Irishman. And that's forced an 8 count. Sabakias was on the retreat. He was actually being passive at the time. So the referee has stepped in and said that's going to be 8 count. Now that'll count as one scoring shot. Reynolds has got him again with a right and a left. Lovely combination by the younger of the Reynolds boys. Now remember, more than 2 8 counts in a round and it's all over, and there's still time for Reynolds to finish this in this round. He's got him again with a right hand. Reynolds would love to start off his World Championship bid with a stoppage. Can't afford to get careless. 3 8 counts in one round, or 4 overall, and that's the contest over. And Reynolds has found something a little bit special in this third round. Sabakias is breathing very heavily. The mouth is open. And that's it all over. Reynolds has stopped him. Good right hand at the end, and Alan Reynolds will be more than pleased with that. A terrific finish by the younger of the two brothers, and Mercedes Taff gets a well-deserved hug, and hugs back in return. Terrific finish by Reynolds. Took his time and picked it up in the third round and finished his man off in considerable style. So that is another terrific boost for the Irish team, who've come here in strength. Alan, well done. You've always been a man who believes in style, and I suspect that was a pretty stylish performance.
It was a good performance. I was delighted with it, to be honest. I didn't think, being boxing in my own crowd, I didn't think I would perform as good as I did, but I did, and it was a beauty. So
yeah, how disappointed were you not performing at your best against Courtney Fry in the Four Nations back in April?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I wasn't fit enough. I was a month after winning the seniors, and I was training all over Christmas.
So what has made the difference in the last 5-6 weeks?
Well, Courtney told himself that we spent 3 weeks in Limerick training down there and a week up here, and that made all the difference. And we were training at home too. As soon as I got beaten by Courtney, I said something's going to have to happen. Like, I can't let that Englishman beat me again, you know. So we got that sorted, and Courtney, thank God, he came over to train along with us in Limerick, and we trained with each other, and we had good fun, you know.
There's a huge difference from winning Irish titles and even competing in the Four Nations to competing at world level. What were the nerves like coming into this particular contest?
Well, I was going to enjoy it, for the simple reason is, all you can do is lose, and that's all it is. I came in, had a bit of crack, and I won. I didn't think I was going to, but I won, and anything I get now is a bonus.
So how far do you think you can go in this particular division? Because it is a tough one.
I'm not too worried. I'm in the top 16 now in the world, so that qualifies me for a grant. So hopefully, as long as you're listening, Jim McDade, so I'm not too worried now. If I anything more, is a bonus to me.
Hey, well done again.
Thank you very much. See you all at home.
Well, after that, the audience were hoping for a Reynolds family double when brother Stephen met Sultan Ahmed Ibrahimov. Reynolds is in blue. John Rawling, was it watching this one?
So the first round of what should be an explosive and fascinating contest, because Stephen Reynolds only knows one way to fight. Reynolds has to come forward. He likes nothing more than a big tear-up. But Ibrahim has already beaten him in the past. Good right to the body, though, from Reynolds. Ibrahim has stopped Reynolds previously. A little chopping left hand from the Russian, a reminder as Reynolds tries to get in close, tries to turn this into a brawl. Reynolds, who's actually a traffic warden, that's his day job. I suspect that you wouldn't argue against him giving you a ticket. And again, he just gets inside and lands a crunching right to the body. The Russian clearly has the reach advantage, fighting out of the southpaw stance, leading off behind that right jab. Oh, a good uppercut inside. Not given as a scoring shot by the judges, but nevertheless a power punch from Reynolds. A little bit of a clash of heads inside. Once again, the referee not spotting that one, and a good, smart right hand from the Russian, following it up with a left to the body. And there are some good, heavy punches already going in this opening round. Stephen Reynolds, who lost to the Welshman Kevin Evans in Houston 2 years ago. Evans, who picked up the bronze medal. Reynolds again trying to get low. Right-left combination from the Russian. Oh, good, real solid right hand right on the bell, closing seconds of the opening round. And Stephen Reynolds, well, he really has taken it to the Russian. The Irish champion getting words of advice in his corner, but he can be well pleased with the way in which he's really stopped the Russian getting into any sort of a real rhythm here. Ibrahim, who was beaten by Felix Savon in the final in Sydney. He had his moments. Right hand coming over the top there, but you see Reynolds just doesn't like to take a backward step. He goes bulldozing forward, trying to land hurtful body shots. Mercedes Taff, a former kickboxer, she's the one giving the instructions in the corner. Works with both brothers, of course. And Stephen Reynolds, who facially looks a little bit like Max Schmeling, doesn't he? The great German heavyweight of the 1930s. Referee saying to the Russian corner, let's just keep it quiet. And forward goes Reynolds again. Has to take one to land one, but he's carrying this fight. 2 points to nil, we've got it, but a good right hand from the Russian, and suddenly Reynolds has to give ground, and that's about the first time, and this is a big attack from the Russian, and it's going to be a standing count for Reynolds. The crowd don't like it, but he gets a first standing count. Now, if there were 3 of those in a round, it would be automatically stopped, and he's taken 1. Now Reynolds has got to somehow just buy a bit of time here and regroup. He had a good opening round, took the opening round, but that was damaging blows from the Russian. And forward comes Reynolds again, and his friends and supporters and family sitting away behind me are up on their feet, cheering their man on. Reynolds, who's in good form this year, he won the 4 Nations Championship, but he's taken another right hand, this time the Russian corner getting a ticking off, and I think they were probably urging Ibrahim on, because once more Reynolds took a solid right hand in close, but once again he's now got his man trapped in his own corner, and he's trying to work away to the body, and Mercedes Taff is urging him forward, saying get in close, stop the Russian being able to get purchase on his punches, and the referee saying keep those up. But already Ibrahim starting to edge into a significant lead. 6 points to 2 it stands. And this has been an excellent Oh, good left hand. Tremendous left hand. Now, is Reynolds going to be able to get up from that? The count's at 5, 7, 8. And he looks at the referee and it's all over. It's disappointment. The referee has stopped it. It was the left hand which did it. Reynolds bravely carried the fight to Ibrahimov in the opening period, but now he's been stopped in the second. 2 knockdowns, and what a peach of a punch it was from Sultan Ahmed Ibrahimov. Ibrahimov takes his head guard off, but you could see as the punches went thundering in, variety of attack. 2 or 3 really good meaty left hooks to the body from Ibrahimov, and by this stage Reynolds was on really dodgy ground. There was the standing 8 count, and the Russian from then on, with the corner imploring him to go forward, would not be denied, and that left hand was a peach. Looking at it from another angle, what a cracker that was, and Reynolds offered no defence to it, no head movement. It was right on the button, down he went, and that's going to be confirmation of a result and a victory for Russia, and disappointment for the host nation, and defeat for Stephen Reynolds. Well, it's been a mixed day for Mercedes Taff, and Ibrahimov gets the confirmation of the result. Good performance from the Russian, and Stephen Reynolds tastes defeat. Stephen, you must have been hoping very much for the family double, but wasn't quite to be.
Wasn't to be, but sure, that's the way it goes. That's boxing for you. Some win, some lose. Unfortunately, I was a loser tonight.
You really did look charged up in that first round, and things just for a minute looked as though they were going very much your way.
Yeah, well, I was doing well, and as far as I know, I was 2 points up, and he just got caught with a lucky shot. Well, it wasn't lucky. It was practiced well on his part, and he caught me in the button.
Do you remember it?
No, I never felt it, but that's the way it goes. That's boxing. Like when you're above in the heavier weights, I think Alan stopped his opponent as well, and like it gets 1 punch, finishes the fight, and I got caught tonight.
So now on to cheer on brother in the next round.
That's it. Hopefully he'll do it for us. And we've a lot of other talented boxers in the squad as well, and the Irish team are going to do well here.
And a great reaction from the public over here in Belfast already to these championships, and I just get the impression that as the week unfolds, this is going to really grow.
Well, I've been a lot to the last World Championships in Texas, and I was in a lot of the qualifiers for the Olympic Games, and I have never seen the crowds like there's been here, and they're really behind the teams.
And what does it mean to the sport in Ireland, actually, for the championships to be over here?
Seeing the boxers on national television here, it'll inspire kids to train, and who knows, more gold medalists, Olympic gold medalists will come from that. The more exposure they get to it, the better things will become.
Rigondeaux looked truly exceptional, but Cuba are also hoping for gold from their flyweight Micro Romero. He's a former Olympic champion from 1996, and here in the red vest, he outclassed Antti Pelli of Finland. The Cubans were always expected to be the outstanding nation in Belfast, and so far, they're looking very strong. Romero now faces Volodymyr Sidorenko of the Ukraine. Here, the referee rescued the Irishman Liam Cunningham in the opening round after Sidorenko had him down, and then he gave the Irishman no chance to recover. One more big right hand was all it took. There followed a standing 8 count, and the referee rightly said enough.
When he got you with that first right hand, what did you think?
Well, the next thing I knew, I was getting up, you know. It's the natural instinct just to get it. My head was clear enough, you know, and I knew to get out on my feet and try and get the head fully cleared, you know, but it wasn't long after he caught me again. Same punch.
Did you feel that the referee's decision was right at that stage? Because the corner, I think, were about to throw the towel in.
Threw the towel in, you know. Naturally, I was disappointed, but our interests are at the fore with the coaches, you know, so I accepted it.
The European silver medalist Bogdan Dobrescu of Romania came through in what was an exciting contest against Puerto Rico's Juan Lopez. The second round was absolutely exceptional. Dobrescu in the red vest held on, he prevailed, and he could now face Romero or Sidorenko in what promises to be a fascinating quarter-final. And what a bad time the Americans are having. The highly touted New Yorker Roberto Benitez in blue lost to Vladimir Alexandrov of Bulgaria. And there was another defeat for the United States as Johnny Vasquez Jr., again in blue, was narrowly outpointed by Absalom Kazanov of Tajikistan. At least light flyweight Ronald Seiler is through. Ireland's Damien McKenna in the red vest overcame an early deficit to outthink and outbox Zhao Zhong of China for a popular points victory.
I caught him with some great body shots. I've been practicing a lot with my coach, my dad, and luckily they paid off today because I slowed him down coming into the last round.
Yeah, and at the midway point you were behind. Did you feel at that stage that you really had to produce a pretty good last couple of rounds?
Well, I knew he had a very good first round. He was throwing a lot of punches, and I was practicing a lot in the gym with Liam Cunningham, you know, blocking shots and things like that. So I knew let him punch himself out, and as I said, the body punches in the end told, and I came through.
Listen to the roars of the crowd. This is for the Irish captain, James Moore, in the final round, leading by 12 points to 9. The 22-year-old from Arklow, he just needs to produce one composed last round, and he can take his place in the next round. Darius Jasovicius of Lithuania, he may have thought that he was going to be able to take this man with those hooks which he was attempting to land there, but instead it's been the boxing ability of James Moore, left-right combination and that straight left, and he's been using his left hand, Wayne McCulloch, so effectively. All he's got to do now is keep his composure.
James Moore is so in control of this fight, just with the one punch, the jab. Just needs to keep it going for the rest of this fight. I think, you know, he's 4 points ahead. I think he's got this fight won.
Jasovicius has had his moments. It's been the left hook which has been the danger punch, but Moore has really been just about managing to boss this right the way through. It stayed close, it stayed competitive, and Jasovicius is still dangerous and lands a right hand, and that narrows the gap now to 3 points as we move into the final minute. You can almost sense palpably the tension in this arena, and listen to the crowd roaring on the Irish favourite.
Jasovicius doesn't have that much left. He's trying hard, but Moore's sticking that jab out. Just keep sticking it and stay out of trouble. That's what I would tell him to do. You know,
the referee saying to Moore, just let's keep those punches orthodox, let's keep the punches straight, connect with the right part of the glove, and the cries behind me from the Irish fans are keep moving, Jim, keep moving. And he gets embroiled in a little bit of a clinch there. What he doesn't want to do in the last 30 seconds is get into some sort of toe-to-toe action. He still leads by 13 points to 10, 13-11, and you can see the clock now ticking away. Can James Moore hang on? This is going to be desperately close, and the Lithuanian landed with another left hand, that this time it's not given as a scoring punch, and James Moore's going to do it. The klaxon's about to sound, 14 points to 11, and he celebrates, and another victory for Ireland.
that's fantastic. You can hear the crowd, they're going crazy. You know, he's fought 2 hard fights in 2 days. He's got to be sore, but hopefully he'll get a rest tomorrow and, you know, fight Wednesday. You can see Murray stand up, good jab over the top. That's all he needed to do, was stay on the outside, poke that jab out, and they were going to score.
So then, confirmation of a victory for an Irish hero here in the Odyssey Arena in Belfast, and the victor, James Moore of Ireland.
Well, there's James Moore there, the skipper, leading by example.
Michael Kelly in blue turned in the best performance of his career against Algeria's Mohamed Alalou, who was a bronze medalist at the Sydney Olympics. A stylish performance, Kelly always in charge. He looked good against an opponent some said he wouldn't and couldn't beat.
He was a bronze medal from the Olympic Games there in Sydney, so the radio boys back home were saying I wasn't much of I was unlucky with the draw, but I knew myself, he had an easy draw in the Olympics, which got him to the semis, so I knew myself, the defence is bang on. I don't give away many shots, and all I do is throw the punches. You've got the crowd behind us, so once you're throwing the shots, you're going to get the scores from you.
Here's a name possibly to look out for in the future, Juan McPherson. He's still 16. Today the American totally overwhelmed his opponent from China. In complete contrast to McPherson, Kevin Anderson in blue is a highly disappointed young man. There were high hopes for the Scottish boxer, but he was out of sorts against Szary Bukowski of Belarus.
A good boy, I thought. Good, strong, experienced boy. Not got the experience for the big tournaments. Good luck.
And that's the way to look at it, isn't it? You're young, lacking a bit of experience. What will you take away from this tournament?
A lot of things. I've seen fighting in a big crowd. And a lot of things, the atmosphere. Everything's different to people I fight back home. But I'll get there.
Bout 78, Cuba against Brazil. Cuba's Diogenes Luna in blue won a bronze in Sydney, and today he totally overpowered Domingos Santos. The referee stopped the contest in the second round. America's Anthony Thompson in red entered the ring knowing that 5 of his teammates were already out, but the national champion had little trouble dispatching Daniel Gill from Australia. Another Cuban winner on day 2, Lorenzo Aragon, 8 times national champion. He outclassed Canada's Ryan Savage, who was anything but. The contest stopped at the halfway stage.
Well, that's
Here's Ireland's Jean-Paul Campbell in blue, a farmer's son from County Meath, and he was up against Estonia's Roman Pavlenkov. It was tight at the finish, with the Irishman just sneaking home 10-7.
I was a point down going at the end of the second round, and the trainer was saying, catch him with the right hook, you get him at the hook, and keep moving to the right. And the third round, I pulled back the score. I was about 2 points, I think, with the right hook. I caught him a good few times with the right hook.
And Campbell now meets this man, Ramazan Palyani, here in red. The Turkish boxer stopped England's Stephen Bell in the third. Palyani has won 3 European titles. It's going to be tough for Campbell. Michael Roach, wearing red, was Ireland's only representative at last year's Olympics, but today he never really got a look in against Anatoly Kavtradze. It was always likely to be tough for England's Matthew Thirlwell in blue, up against Damian Austin of Cuba, a former world champion. Thirlwell quick to acknowledge there's no substitute for experience.
I believe he's had 200 odd fights. This is about my 50th. I've got a lot of catching up to do, but I'm a quick learner, so I'm sure I'll sort of catch up in 10 more internationals time, whatever. I'm sure I'll be at the Commonwealth Games and probably the World Games in 2003, fingers crossed. If I meet him again, then I've got sort of no qualms in my head that I will lose again.
America's Seishu Powell from Brooklyn showed fighting spirit. He was behind after the first round, but eventually came back to complete a comprehensive win against his Ukrainian opponent. James Coyle of Scotland must have known that he was up against it when this happened early in the first. But Coyle showed grit. Krishakin of Belarus eventually completing a 7-point win. America's Verquan Kimbra in red would like to be an FBI agent one day. Today he met Serek Yelov of Kazakhstan. It was close, with the would-be secret agent just squeezing home. England's Stephen Burke, 21 from Liverpool, appropriately in red. His brother's a pro, and he was ringside to pass on a few tips that saw him easily overcome his Chinese opponent. Burke still has a long way to go, but dreams of returning home with a medal.
Well, now that I've got the first win under my belt, you know, I'm going to go from strength to strength, hopefully, and, you know, bring home England's first medal if I can, which will be some, you know, triumphant achievement.
That would be some achievement. Before that happens, obviously, you have another bout coming up. Bikulitis of Lithuania. I guess he's not a boxer you know too much about.
No, I've seen his name around a bit, and I mean, I suppose, you know, he's probably over 3 times the fights I've had, which the Eastern Bloc countries do. But, no, I'm confident from that bout today, and I'm going to go into tomorrow, you know, very, very confident.
The last of the Belfast boys is out. Noel Monteith was matched with Vladimir Kolesnik of Ukraine. Monteith took 2 standing counts, comprehensively beaten. This was his fight report.
He's a big, tall, rangy southpaw like myself. It was just the box the same way, box itself, he just happened to be bigger and a bit more superior technically. But as I say, He's so hard to get there, so good in his feet, like, and you know, he looked physically strong now. But as I say, it wouldn't hurt me that much. But he was just catching me so clean, like it was unbelievable. And you know, when you're in that situation where there's nothing you can do about it, when you try your best and you're still getting picked off, and this guy's moving around you, it's very frustrating. But that's boxing.
That was without a doubt the best performance by an Irish boxer we've seen so far, and against the Olympic bronze medalist, and that will give Michael Kelly very, very serious medal hopes himself.
Looking back at your first performance the other night, what did you make of that?
I thought I boxed all right, just. I boxed a lot better. So your man, Olympic bronze medalist, I thought he was only average. You know, but there's tougher guys in the division left.
So after his impressive and stylish opening performance, Michael Kelly now takes on England's Daniel Happy. It has the makings of an intriguing contest because both boxers sparred together for a week at a recent training camp.
Yeah, he was down with us in the training camp in Limerick a few weeks ago. He only had a couple of spars up there. Sparred okay, you know.
What do you reckon to him?
I think he's good, but I think they'll beat him.
What are his strengths?
He's tall. He's a good mover. But I don't think he likes the pressure, 4 rounds pressure, you know.
Daniel's a good lad. Good, tall, rangy southpaw. He'd be difficult to beat. Rangy southpaw. We sparred him, of course, during the camp, and the two lads have struck up a, as you excuse the pun, the happy relationship. But I feel Michael can do the business tomorrow. He's on home soil. He's geared up for it. He wants the title badly, and I think he can do it.
Do you believe, like he says, he can win the gold medal here?
Oh, quite certainly.
Anthony says that's your real strength, your mental strength that sees you overcome your opponents. Do you agree with that?
Indeed.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Just a final thought, you probably are a better boxer than you are a chess player, yeah?
I'm pretty good at this game as well, you know.
Yeah.
Play a lot of chess. A lot. One of my favourite pastimes.
He's not that good at it.
Hope it goes well for you. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Place in the quarterfinals at stake. Englishman and Irishman, who are we going?
Bogdan Dobrescu of Romania was an easy winner against his opponent from Korea and remains on course for what would be a fascinating semi-final against Sodorenko, who we saw earlier. Guillermo Regondo of Cuba notched another brilliant win today. His latest victory lasted less than a round. Ireland's Damien McKenna, wearing blue, was involved in a real thriller. Kazhanov of Kazakhstan was his opponent. McKenna winning margin just a point by the finish. Julius Fogel in red was another American to bite the dust today. Miroslav Krepstul going through by a 4-point margin. This is Ireland's Kenneth Egan in red, Four Nations champion. The man from Dublin, just 19, was in impressive form against Youssef Elouan.
I could feel it on my knuckles, you know, right on his chin. Like, he went down, thankfully God he's down. Because he was strong, you know, but after that then I knew I had him. He was weakened. He didn't chase me as much, so I attacked him. He just wanted a guard, and he was just holding the belt the ring, I think.
Utkebek Hyderov in blue is the defending champion, and he showed the qualities you would expect, stopping Anthony St. Clair in the second round. Despania of Cuba in blue beat the Olympic champion Gutierrez to earn his trip to Belfast, so no surprise that his contest with Moon of Korea finished in the third. The Scottish champion Steve Maguire in red was beaten by Istvan Shukes of Hungary. Scotland now with just one representative left in the competition. Elsewhere, Enna Falvey from Cork, a trainee doctor, was stopped in the second by his Russian opponent. Ali Mansour in blue, the only Lebanese boxer at the competition, is out, losing to Jason Estrada of the United States. Another Cuban success story, the giant Pedro Carrion, around 7 feet tall. Not surprisingly, he completed a winning debut.
The big Happy from Bethnal Green, boxes for his local club, Repton, and was ABA champion back in '99. His opponent, Michael Kelly, is a military man from Dundalk. He's the Irish champion and beat the Olympic bronze medalist to reach the last 16. We join it at the start of round 2. Happy is in blue. He's got some work to do, and Jim Neely is the commentator.
Six 6-1 to the man in red, Michael Kelly, the Irish light welterweight. After a very good opening 2 minutes, Daniel Happy really hasn't just settled himself at all. He's boxing very erratically, and the more aggressive Kelly has picked up the points. So this looks more like it from Happy. There's a certain element of concentration there, and that's what he has to do. The southpaw right and then the left to follow against the shorter Irishman, who once again comes storming in. Terrific support, needless to say, here for Kelly and Belfast, the man from Dundalk. 7-2, the 5-point gap is being maintained. Good body shots by Kelly. He's really taking the steam out. Oh, that's terrific body punching by Kelly. That's the best we've seen probably from anyone, bar a couple of the Ukrainians and Cubans so far. And 9 points of a gap, and Happy has it all to do. Well, he is farther behind than I think even he would have anticipated. Kelly ducking down. Referee not altogether happy with that. This is a good performance once again by Kelly. 6-1 up at the start of the round, now 11-2. 9 points to the good, the Irishman. And now 12-2, and Happy has the proverbial mountain to climb, and Kelly is giving him a bit of an old lesson. It's all aggression from the Irishman, and the skill of the Englishman has been completely negated. Happy, the gold medal in the Liverpool multi-nations a couple of years ago, picked up gold medals in prestigious multi-nations in Poland and Denmark last year. But the aggressive Irishman, Michael Kelly, is showing him the way here in Belfast. And Kelly says the best thing that happened to him was losing to England's Gavin Smith in Liverpool in the multi-nations, and that gave him the wake-up call he needed. Good short right hand was not too far away. Left hook from Kelly. Better stuff from Happy. He's left it a wee bit late. And a nice touch of gloves, and what another very good round that was. 6-1 to Kelly at the start of it, 14-6 to Kelly at the end of it. Well, 8 points up. Wonderful variation from Kelly, body, head and body, getting right underneath the longer arms of the Englishman, and thundering body shots. Wonderful sequence from Kelly. That really was a terrific display by the Irishman. Wonderful little flurries and beautifully directed, and an uppercut to follow. So the best variation we've seen from Kelly so far. Well, Kelly up off the stool. Happy to give the pun less than.
Come on then, babies are done. Let's go.
Well, Daniel Happy is going to have to go some to turn this contest round. He was 6-1 down at the end of the first, 14-6 down at the end of the second. So he needs a big 4 minutes. He's pulled one back already. Has he taken the steam out of Michael Kelly in the early stages? This is going to be a great test of the Irishman's stamina. Well, Kelly has pulled another one back, so that 8-point gap stays. And that's where Kelly is good. Close in, right round again. Wonderful shots to the body by Kelly. And he's really hurting Happy. He is really hurting him. Kelly is boxing splendidly. 11 points now. And remember, if the gap gets to 15 before the fourth round, the man on the receiving end is deemed to be outclassed. There's still 11 points between them. Happy's not doing enough. He's just popping out the right, and he's not getting in behind that right to throw the left. He needs to do more. Good defense by Kelly. 10 points between them. Well, having beaten the world bronze medalist against the man who beat the world, or the Olympic bronze medalist, There shouldn't have been that much between these two, but there's 10 points at the moment. Good defence by Kelly, that's been the secret. That and some excellent body punching. Don't hold to the Englishman. This always had the makings of a cracking contest, and that's the way it's panned out. Better left hand from Happy. He's got to pick up the points now. 30 seconds to go. Kelly's opened up the gap again to 10. Less than 2.5 minutes of boxing for a place in the quarterfinals, and at the moment that place looks as if it's going to be booked by Michael Kelly. Happy's pulled another one back, and he'll go back to his corner, and no doubt Ian Irwin will have one or two things to say to him. Well, that may well herald the end of the contest, because Kelly will have 2 points added on to his score, and Happy will be less than happy going back to the corner.
Happy couldn't turn things around in the final round, leaving Kelly the victor. Afterwards, they both spoke to Gary Richardson.
I knew I was up after the first round, and do you know the scores, did you?
No,
you
no,
the
I
scores?
think I was 2 down after the first
I knew
two.
I was up, and just kept to the game plan, just keep pressure on him. But then I think I got a big lead then into the last one, and I kind of switched off a bit, and he was coming looking for it. He caught me a couple of body shots, and I think he heard the sound effects. And come back anyway, no problem. Tough fight.
You've ended up with a bit of a shiner as well, haven't you?
Yeah,
but
it's ruined me looks now. My missus is going to kill him, she'll see ya. But no, I knew I was down getting into the last round. I was told I didn't know how many points it was by, but so I knew I had to go after him. So I went looking. I just threw the boxing out the window. I had to sort of go to a war sort of thing. You know, I had to mix it with him. Strong opponent. You know, I done what I could, but at the end of the day, it wasn't good enough. So I just hope he goes and wins the medal for the both of us now.
Ireland's John Paul Kinsella in red continued the home country's good form. He progressed to the next stage, defeating Salam Salimov of Bulgaria. But he was quick to acknowledge it wasn't easy.
Toughest fight I've ever had, yeah. Like in terms of like he would be the most what would I say, qualified sort of person, you know. Like he was very tough. He had his hands down low, you know, and you could see he was a right professional, you know.
Cuba have again been making an impression on this fourth day. Jan Barthelemy in red defeating Istvan Petrovic of Hungary. Barthelemy remains on course for a semi-final clash with this man, Ronald Seiler of America. Seiler in blue defeated his Slovakian opponent. Another possible America-Cuba clash, young Juan McPherson in red. He went through. And McPherson could face Diogenes Luna. Earlier today, Luna beat Iron at Iron of Romania. Colin McNeil, the last Scotsman in the tournament, came through against Brazilian opposition, but it was a real battle.
I'm in great shape for this, so I've no excuses. All I've got to do is put the effort in, because I've done all the hard training. I'm just trying to enjoy the occasion. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to enjoy the occasion. Loving it, you know. So far it's so good, but all means nothing unless I win this next fight. It's just, I've got to win this next fight, I really have, you know. It's all down to that.
Irish captain James Moore was also involved in a real tussle with Italy's Leonard Bandou. His winning margin at the close was 3 points, now in the quarterfinals, and he's flying high.
Top 10 in the world now, you know, and I see no reason after today's performance why I can't go all the way, you know.
It's fantastic the way the whole Irish team is performing here.
Oh, well, the confidence, you know, we're buzzing off each other now. Everyone is on such a high. Everyone's behind us here. The work is done, you know. This is, if we never throw another punch in my rest of my boxing career, you know, I've done it now, so.
Marian Simeon of Romania in blue is the defending champion, and he met Michael Billack. It was all rather easy, the champion winning in 2. Damien Austin of Cuba in blue beat England's Matthew Thirlwell in the previous round. Today's opponent was Anatoly Kavdradze. It was stopped in the third, and Austin will meet Session Powell in the quarter-final. Powell overcame German Lukas Vilacek. Finally, Alan Reynolds in red produced a real battling display against Yildirim Tarhan of Turkey. Behind early on, they were level at the start of the fourth. Reynolds nicked it by 2 points eventually. It was a good first session for the Irish.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, only for the crowd we have here. None of us, I don't think, would be as fair on, because there's times when I just feel like, fuck this, I want to get out of it. But they're here shouting, come on, Alan, come on, beat him. So they think, because of Irish boxers, they go on emotion. If they were losing, if someone just heard, well, your mother's looking at you, it's just like that, they get big and high strong again, you know. So, but only for you, for the people at home coming here, you're the ones that are doing it for us. Thanks very much.
There was disappointment for Ireland's John Paul Campbell, who was never in the hunt against Ramazan Palyani of Turkey. Ramazan winning by a 15-point margin. Ireland's Kenny Egan met Miroslav Krepstall, and Egan is through to the quarterfinals. He was a comprehensive points winner. Next up, a Cuban opponent. He's not worried.
I have no fear of the Cubans at all, you know. But like I said, he's only a new lad on the block. Same myself, he's only young, I think he's only 21, 20. So I think we're like, even enough, the two of us getting into the ring, but I suppose the best boxer who wins, there's only one winner, isn't it?
At light flyweight, Ireland's John Paul Kinsella in blue tried everything and more against Romania's European bronze medalist Marian Veliciu, but went down 22-20 in a bruising all-action affair.
Before the fight, I said, I'll try and, when we were down training in Limerick, I said, like, if I win a fight, I'll be delighted, you know. And I won a fight yesterday, but just to come so close is just very disappointing. I just wish I'd just done a bit more, you know.
Ireland's second representative in action today was bantamweight Damien McKenna in blue here. He too had a tough draw, losing in the second to Turkey's European champion Agassi Agagulolu.
As you can see, the Turkish fighter is exceptional. He's European champion. And unfortunately, as you can see, I've been carrying 2 battle scars now from the last 2 hard fights I've had. And unfortunately, today wasn't meant to be.
You had to work out a way to beat him. What was the game plan going in?
Well, that was the problem. The game plan really was to protect the eye. We knew if it busted open again, the doctor was going to stop the fight. So straight away, we were on the back foot. I had to be very careful. But unfortunately, once I fell behind in the first round, all tactics went out the window. I started having to put the pressure on Agassi, and it suited him in the end. But I'm happy enough with my performance in the championships. Last 8 in the world now, and I've been beat by European champion, possibly world champion.
19-year-old Kenneth Egan in blue said he didn't fear the Cubans, but pluck wasn't enough against Jordanis D'Espanya on what was turning into a miserable session for the Irish team and the home crowd.
Obviously a disappointing. It was down to him to turn things around. The Turk, Firet Karagulu, stood in his way. We join it at the halfway stage with Wayne and John Rawling. Keep watching, it's a thriller.
Pull it back, pull it back.
Third round, and James Moore needs to find inspiration from somewhere, and he started very fast. A flurry of punches to the body only scores him the 1 point, but there were 3 or 4 solid shots went thudding into the ribcage of Firet Karagulu of Turkey, slightly the taller man, who at the moment now has a 6-point lead, and Moore has got to really carry this fight to him.
Well, that's the problem with the computers. You say he threw 3 or 4 good body shots, got 1 point for it. So he wasted a lot of energy. He didn't get the score for it. Krager walks straight forward, strong guy, but he's looking for the 1 shot.
Moore, another good body shot, but the referee saying it was around the back of the body. And the Turkish boxer wants a little bit of time to recover from that.
I thought that was a good shot, right, just didn't hit the kidneys, but just before it. In the pro game, that would be a legal shot.
it hurt him. He was using the looseness of the head guard as time to recover, and I think that was a little bit of kidology. He just wanted a second or two to recover from a very, very solid right hand.
I think Caraglu's getting a bit tired here, and James put on the pressure and scored a shot there. If he keeps this kind of pace up through the last round, this could be pretty close.
This would give such a lift to the Irish team if James Moore somehow can maintain this. He's closing the gap, and look at the work rates. He will not take no for an answer, and that's against the rules. You can't do that. He's getting a caution, not an official warning, but Moore is getting really inspiration here.
This is what Moore needs to do. Just push this guy back. He's definitely tired. Throw the combinations, and he's going to score shots.
More good body shots. 3 or 4 went in there, and once more, James Moore only gets the 1 point from the computerized scoring system. But I tell you, he's winning this round, and he's winning it comfortably by anything other than the point scoring. He is really laying on the punishment.
Look at Caraglu. He's dead tired. He's got his mouth open, and he's moving around, looking for the big right hand. It's not working for him. James Moore is fighting a good fight now.
Moore can still turn this one round. Again, he gets the body shot in, and he does get the reward. It's down to 2 points. Closing seconds of the third round. We're in for a grandstand finish here, and there's a note of desperation in Caraglu's work, and Moore has got a great opportunity here to get into the last 4. And once more, Caraglu, he gets time for the resetting of his headgear, and James Moore is in that moment imploring the crowd to give him more support.
This crowd have definitely psyched him up. He pulled back and had a great round here. Caraglu's looking for every opportunity to get a rest, and he's getting the rest.
2 points is all there is between them, and there's the klaxon. Caraglu landing with a jab right on the bell, but this is now James Moore's moment, and what they're saying in this corner is going to be so, so important. Look at that, Wayne, those body shots hammering in.
He threw 3 right hands. There's the 4th right hand to the body to score 1 shot. You know, this computer scoring to me is wrong completely.
He wants it. He wants it so much. Look at that face. That's about determination, commitment, and he wants this medal so, so badly.
He's going to go out there and he's going to fight it hard. He had a great third round. Caraglu is definitely tired. James should just go out there, push this guy back, and he's got the fight won.
He has to turn round a 2-point deficit in this final round, and James Moore needs to fight for 2 minutes, perhaps as he's never fought before. Come on, Jim, the shouts are coming from ringside. He'll be able to hear the cries of his friends and his family, and the gap is narrowed once more.
James is fighting a perfect fight. He's roughing up Caraglu, and it's working. He's scoring the shots all even.
The left hook put it level, but then back comes Caraglu with a chopping right hand, and he's wanting a break again. Once more, he wants time to recover, and he's getting away from it. He's looking for a way out here.
The referee's giving him every opportunity to get a respite. You know, he's dead tired. Look at it. He's breathing hard. James Moore stepped the pace up, and he can win this fight.
Well, I've watched an awful lot of fights over the years, and this man, Caraglu, looks dog-tired to me, and James Moore has the opportunity he's been waiting for here. He's got just over a minute to do it. He's 2 points adrift, and now the head guard comes off, and Moore angrily kicks it out of the ring. The referee didn't like to see that. Frustration showing, and Caraglu once again gets precious moments to recover with the score at 20-19.
Maybe when he went back to the corner the last time, they loosened it instead of tightening it, because they're giving him a respite again. That's unbelievable. That's ridiculous.
I have to say, I don't think this is particularly fair on James Moore, but now he has a chance once again. A minute to go in the final round. Can the Irish team captain
Come on,
now
James.
turn
Come
it
on,
round?
James. Come on. I'm getting excited here. I have to. Come on, James. You can do it.
The impartial words of Wayne McCulloch, and now James Moore for Ireland is moving ahead. He can sense victory The crowd can sense victory. There are people standing up around here, cheering him on, almost getting in the ring with him to give him every ounce of encouragement. And he now has 30 seconds to go. He's a point ahead, and the referee telling off Karagulu, who's desperately tired. And Moore now has just 30 seconds, 20 seconds now, and the scores are dead level. Right hand over the top from Karagulu wasn't enough to get the scoring point. And now the Turk edges ahead once again. Last 10 seconds. And can it be that Ireland are going to do it? And it's not, I don't think. This is going to be oh, he's just on level terms again. And the last few seconds, and there we are. It's landed at 24 points apiece. It's going to go back to count back. And we now just wait and see what the judges' deliberations are going to be. But James Moore gave absolutely everything.
Unbelievable. What a clear fight. Unbelievable. I got excited. I had to. James Moore is unbelievable. He deserved to win this fight. He won the last 2 rounds clear.
Well, now we just wait and see. And here comes the verdict from the judges. An agonising wait. Has James Moore got this?
The winner in the blue corner.
He's done it! He's done it, and that is a medal for Ireland. And look at the delight on the face of James Moore. He dug deep, and the rejoicing around this ring is quite extraordinary. He will remember that moment for the rest of his life, whatever happens in the rest of this tournament.
And he deserves it. He's fought this is his 4th fight in these championships. Unbelievable. He fought a perfect last 2 rounds. He deserves what he gets.
James, a World Championship medal, can you believe it?
No, I always believed in myself, but I mean, it was so far away, like looking back 6 weeks ago, this moment that like seemed almost an eternity, like I know it's happened, I'm almost in shock, but I'm not going to settle for bronze, you know, I'm going for gold here.
The look on your face when the verdict was announced told us the story.
I mean, I couldn't believe it, I was 2 down going into the last round, I was in shock at the scoring out there, you know. Then when I heard it was a countback, you know, I put in a brilliant last round, it gave everything I have. And when I heard the result, it was just unbelievable. I know now what it feels like to feel $1 million, you know.
You said you're not going to settle for bronze. Next up is Anthony Thompson of the USA. He's been looking good.
He's been looking good. I boxed him in the USA, first fight this season. I was beaten on a majority decision in America, so that'll tell you. That tells its own story, because the way boxing is these days. And, you know, I really feel, you know, this is where I'm going to get my revenge here tomorrow.
We wish you all the best.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Johnny's in the 2nd round. Reynolds is in the blue, and he's right up against it. Jim saw this one.
It's been the most difficult 2 minutes in the boxing career of the Irish light heavyweight champion, Alan Reynolds. He's 11-3 down to the silver medalist from Houston last year, and the European bronze medalist, the formidable 28-year-old from France, Jean Dobby. And Dobby, remember, in Houston last year, lost in the final 3-3 and 32-26 on countback to the American Michael Sims. That's how good Dobby is. He's 13-5 up. Reynolds, well, has kept it fairly even so far this round, but Dobby's range of skills, and there's another good left hand from the Frenchman, have just been too much for the Irishman, who came through well against a Lithuanian and an outstanding Turkish boxer to get here to within striking distance of a world medal. But the man who's already got a world silver has opened up a huge gap, and Reynolds may find himself outclassed in this 2nd round. 10 points the difference. Dobby showing terrific defense. Oh, wonderful uppercut from the Frenchman. Reynolds really in all sorts of trouble. There's 11 points and now 12 of a difference, and Dobby is really piling on the pressure, and Reynolds from Sligo, the 22-year-old, the younger of the Reynolds boys, is being overwhelmed. Now with great resilience, he staged a little bit of a comeback. He's got to try to stay in there, but 12 points has been opened up of a gap. There was 8 between them at the start of the round, and Reynolds' nose is bleeding again, and he is really sucking in the wind. Dobby is so businesslike. Another great right hand from the Frenchman. Reynolds tries the uppercut. 30 seconds to go. Reynolds will do well to survive to the end of this round. 13 points between them, and Dobby is producing a terrific array of punches. and he doesn't waste any at all. Everyone he throws scores. Great shot from Dobby. That's 15 points. That's it all over. And the challenge of Alan Reynolds has foundered on the rock. That is Jean Dobby from France. The silver medalist from Houston last year. The French felt that they should have got it, and he should have got it. Lost in the quarterfinals of the Sydney Olympic Games, but has come through the quarterfinals here in Belfast with a terrific score.
Ireland's light welterweight Michael Kelly in red had beaten England's Daniel Happy in his previous contest, but this time the Frenchman Willie Bland proved too skillful and too elusive.
No, I just couldn't catch him. He was running, he was clocking 4-minute miles there, I think, in the ring. I couldn't catch him. He went 4 up after the first, and then he was 6 up after the second. Then I pulled it back a few, but as I say, he was on his bike. I couldn't catch him. I put everything I could into it. You know, another 4 rounds I'd have stopped him. But I said 4 twos is never enough. You know, so you're getting warmed up.
Courtney Fry in blue has won Commonwealth gold and European silver at light heavyweight, but his bid for world bronze ended in failure against Romania's Claudio Rasco. Fry had beaten him the last time they met, but this time he let slip an early lead and never recovered.
It's a very...
James under pressure after 2 rounds. Could he bring the house down one more time? Wayne and Jim were about to find out.
At the midway stage, it's the USA 18 and Ireland 10. USA have won 2 gold medals in this division in the World Championships down the years. Kenny Gould in '86 and the wonderful Mark Breland in '82. This is Ireland's first ever medalist in this division. 18-12 now to the man in red, Anthony Thompson, the teenager from Philadelphia.
That's good. James came out there and he started throwing 4s and 5s. That's what he needs to do. Got caught with the left hooker, but took it well. This American is strong. You see the 2 good left hooks. James is in a bit of trouble here. He needs his tuck up.
This is without a doubt the hardest puncher that James Moore has come up against. There's nothing flashy about Thompson. He's got the feet well planted in the canvas, and he throws very hard shots, and he's trying that uppercut again, and he covers up well.
See, James threw 4 good body shots and didn't get 1 point for it. This American is a good prospect, but James is still here. You get hit with a good right.
Oh, there's 13 points of a gap now. 2 more points and it's going to be all over.
Come on, James, keep it going, keep it going.
Well, good advice there from Wayne McCullough. A little plea in the voice as well. This is going to be difficult now for James Moore. It always was going to be difficult. 13 points of a gap. Thompson needs 2 more to win this inside the 3rd one.
He never got the score for another body shot.
Well, he's come forward again and he's picked up 2 more points. He's given himself, dare we breathe it, well, half a chance, Wayne.
Yeah, he has. Thompson's strong. He keeps coming forward. James is landing a few shots, but this guy's super strong. Thompson's a great fighter.
Oh, this is a terrific piece of boxing by Thompson, and Moore is starting to wilt a little bit. The sheer power of the American is coming through. The Romanian referee is saying that he's not hitting with the right part of the glove, and Thompson is finding great strength, and Moore's having to take it. 12 points of a gap. Moore may just survive until the last round, but the gap, even for James Moore, who's been the comeback kid all the way through, it's going to be a big gap.
He's got guts and good heart. He's fighting here. He's giving everything he has.
Oh, James Moore is going to have to be carried out in a shield from this contest. This as an example of heart, the like of which we haven't seen from an Irish boxer for a long time. Thompson is an excellent prospect, 19 years old, and American promoters will be sitting with the fat checkbooks waiting to sign this kid up. But James Moore has taken them to the wire, Wayne.
They'll be waving the checkbook when he comes back to America. You see here, he's good left hook, then a right hand behind it. Good shot. Good shot from James as well underneath, but I don't think he got the score for it. But the American's so strong, he keeps coming in, those short punches. Good rally from James.
Well, a look of sheer determination and never say die spirit on the face of James Moore. Gritted his teeth, bit into the gum shield and dug in. He wasn't going to take a backward step, even if it meant going down on one knee.
Both these guys are digging deep. You know, Thompson is fighting. He knows he has to fight. He's in Moore's hometown, and you know he needs to go in there and fight, and he's well ahead. But James can still pull this off if he digs deep. One punch can change it.
Well, James Moore lost the last round by 12 points to 9, and the Irish captain guaranteed a bronze medal, following in the footsteps of Tommy Corr in 1982, Michael Carruth in 89, Damien Kelly in 93, and Stephen Kirk in 97. James Moore's got the bronze he came for. He may have to settle for that, because even a comeback to rival the ones he's produced so far might not be enough against a hugely strong and hugely talented and completely ruthless American teenager.
Well, James knows he needs a knockout here. I don't think he has too much left, but he's got the guts and he's going for the glory. He's still hanging in there. You know, he's fought 5 fights this week. He's just been tremendous.
Well, the gap, as it was at the start of the round, is 11 points, 32 to the USA, 21 to the Irish skipper, James Moore. Great support here, the whole Irish team behind him, the whole of Belfast behind him, and needless to say, my co-commentator behind him.
Definitely, you know, I'm always behind my, you know, teammates and stuff, and the guys from back home. They fought this week. They weren't expected to do anything, and he's in the bronze medal position, and he's still fighting here to the end. He's giving everything he has.
Well, he's got less than a minute now, and the gap is 11 points, and the USA, from a full team, are going to get one man into the final. Great left hand, though, by Thompson, and that's opened up a gap of now 13 points, and Moore has taken more hard shots in this one than he's taken in the previous 4 put together.
But you see, Moore's taking the shots, but he'd rather be carried out of this ring. He's not going to give up until the last bell. He knows he's behind and he's probably going to lose, but he's fighting to the end.
And he's still coming back. The knees just bent. He took another hard shot. There's 14 points between them, and James Moore is an absolute hero.
Without no doubt, he's definitely a hero. He's got a bronze medal, and he's just fighting to the end here. He's giving everything he has. The supporters are going to be behind him 100%. Great competition.
Well, Thompson has been terrific. Moore has been marvellous.
I think he hit him a bit low there, but you know, the American knows he has the fight won, so he's not going to take too much time.
Well, the Romanian referee has given a standing 8 count against Thompson. It's come a little bit too late. That will give the Irish crowd even more to cheer about. And Moore says, well done, you've won it. Thompson did win it. The Americans are annoyed about the low blow, and really that is not James Moore's style at all. His style is all about heart and commitment and guts and coming forward and taking his licking if he has to. He did take a bit of a licking, but I tell you something, what a performance he's put through right from his very first contest. And Thompson, I'm sure, will appreciate it and say well done.
James and Father James, your 5th contest in 6 days, was it a step too far?
No, I felt bouncy in my step today. You know, there was no problem. I was just beaten by a better boxer on today, so you know, I have no complaints. Like.
You'd met Thompson last year, but he's only 19. Had he improved?
He was very much stronger this time. He was faster. You know, he was just after improving so much. He's just improved that bit more than me. So.
You showed you've got a great chin, though.
Yeah, I mean, you'd had to nail me to the floor out there today. You know, nothing would have stopped me. I just kept getting up. No, I never say never, like, you know.
Dad, you must be very proud of what James has done this week.
Very proud. Excellent performance. We would have settled for a win, as we said, coming up here, to win one bout at the start of the championships, and then it was win 2, and then winning 3 and 4, and I mean, a bronze was, you know, really would have been a big thing, but yet he came in today looking for silver, you know, but he's past the disappointment now, and I'm not disappointed. I'm delighted he went so far and that the Irish team did so well.